Welcome back to another video. My name is Ian Phillips. I'm a realtor in Orange County, and today we're going to be looking at the housing market in Irvine. What used to be the hottest selling market in the entire country is about to shift to a buyer's market. And this is from a realtor who actually lives in Irvine, so I'm seeing firsthand the abundance of homes that are hitting the market. Homes are sitting on the market for longer, having multiple price reductions, and the market is definitely shifting quickly. So if you like this video, subscribe for more, and if you're looking for an agent in the area, reach out. I'd love to chat. We can go over your goals, whether you're buying or selling, and see how we can navigate your current situation. You can check out the website in the description below as a way to contact me, search for homes, free mortgage calculator, home buying guide, a lot of stuff in there for you. So let's get straight into the video. All right, so we're going to be pulling data directly from the MLS, so all of this is pretty accurate. So Irvine right now is about to be in a balanced market, but in my opinion is going to be a buyer's market before the end of this year, particularly in price ranges above $2 million. We are seeing those homes sit on the market for quite a while. What's kind of happening in the entry-level price point, under $1 million, under 1.2 million, those homes are still moving relatively quickly, but again, it depends on the HOA. Newer communities are sitting for longer as well. Places that have Melrose, buyers are paying attention to the monthly payment, and all of that factors in. So it's not just mortgage rates, not just the purchase price, it's how much your HOA is and Melrose for those newer communities. So month supply of inventory right now is 4.7, and this is probably the most important set of data that you can pay attention to whether you're buying or selling within the next 6 months. So if you're unaware, month supply of inventory essentially takes into account how many homes are on the market compared to how many buyers are currently shopping or offering on homes, getting into escrow. And anything under 3 months is considered a seller's market, and Irvine has been under 3 months for quite a while, up until this year. Between 4 and 6 months is considered a neutral market, and anything over 6 months is considered a buyer's market. And Irvine specifically has been shifting very, very quickly, and we'll take a look at that specific chart later on in the video. As of right now, homes are selling on average for 1.5% below their original list price. Days on market, median sold price, we'll take a look at the chart in a minute and kind of get a more accurate idea of what's going on. So this is the chart for the median home value in Irvine, which is the blue line, and the orange line is Orange County. And as you can see, Irvine has been outperforming Orange County and California, which is the yellow line, as a whole forever. And we sort of saw that really pick up after the correction that we had in 2022, where the median home value in Irvine went from $1,340,000 down to $1,240,000. So it had around $100,000 price correction, which is pretty decent, a little under 10%. And from there, it has gone all the way to a little over $1.6 million. So prices have soared over the last few years, while the overall market in California has been pretty stagnant. You can see with this yellow line, prices are kind of just back to where they were at the peak in 2022. Orange County, of course, as a whole has been outperforming California, significantly outperforming the Bay Area, LA, as well as San Diego. Orange County as a whole has seen significantly more demand than anywhere else in California. And you can see exactly that. Home prices hit $1,070,000 in 2022, dropped to a little under $1 million, and now they're sitting at a little over 1.2. So home values have increased around 20% in just the last 3 years. So quite a lot of demand. So this is the main thing that I wanted to show here. The number of homes available for sale has now hit a 5-year high, and we are approaching pre-pandemic levels of a little over 800 homes on the market. And you can see this line has essentially just gone straight up since December of 2024. We had a little under 400 homes on the market, and the inventory has almost doubled in just 6 months. We're sitting in July, and these numbers are from June. So my guess, within the next 30 days, you'll definitely see over 800 homes available for sale. Now, this has increased substantially if we look all the way back to March, February of last year, where you had 179 homes on the market. So inventory has essentially quadrupled in, what's that, a year and a half, kind of, which is pretty astounding. And that is definitely explaining the price reductions that we're starting to see right now. And buyers, you have a ton of negotiating power in this market. Sellers, if you're watching this video, you have to be a little realistic with your price, considering there is significantly more competition out there if you're trying to sell your home. And if you're a buyer thinking, is this the time to get into the market? This is the most negotiating power you've had in Irvine for really the last 5 years. And if you love a home that's been on the market for 30, 60, 90 days, maybe one price drop, maybe they haven't even dropped their price yet, I would honestly talk to your agent, reach out to me. Let's get in there and write an offer 5, 10% below list price and see if we can start some sort of negotiating happening. So if they've been on the market for 60 days, no price reduction, absolutely 10% below list price. Let's see if we can get a counter, see how desperate the seller is. There are quite a few sellers that do need to sell. That's kind of the reason why their house is on the market, particularly if they've done a price drop or done multiple price reductions. So inventory has been skyrocketing for the last year and a half, 2 years, which honestly, I love to see that. Irvine has been too long in the sub 500 homes available for sale range, so I love to see us get back to more of a neutral market. Median days on market is now around 38. This has been increasing slightly since the start of the year, but as you can see, it usually picks up in the second half of the year. December last year, it was 70 days on market. My expectation, we'll have something similar happen this year, sort of September, November, December timeframe. We'll get back up to 50, 60 days on market, more than likely before the end of this year. Let's take a look at pending listings, which is an indication of buyer demand. And we've been pretty flat for the last 3 years, 2.5 years. This is December of 2022. And we've sort of been ranging between 200 and 150 homes getting into escrow every single month. And that's why you can tell month supply of inventory has been increasing almost at 5 months of supply right now, because there's 800 homes on the market and there's only 150, 200 homes getting into escrow every month. We'll take a look at sold listings here as well, but pending listings is a great indication of buyer demand. So we do still have buyers in Irvine, and my guess is that most of the buyers shopping in this city right now are looking for a deal. Irvine has some of the best schools in the entire state, one of the safest cities to live, and it's a pretty desirable area for young families and families in general to move to. So it's always going to have that particular group of buyers that want to buy in this city. And a lot of people have been waiting to get into the market over the last 5 years, and there hasn't really been much of an opportunity until this year, where, like I mentioned, buyers have an enormous amount of negotiating power in the current market. So sold listings, exactly the same as pending listings, no surprise here. What would be a little concerning is if we had, let's say, 200 homes getting into escrow and then you only have 100 homes getting sold in that same month. It would mean a lot of people are saying, you know what, I don't want this house. I'm going to cancel the contract. That house goes back on the market. But we're not really seeing that. So we had 160 homes get into escrow, 159 sold. Sold to list price, 1.5% below list. And this has been sort of flat for the last couple of years. You can see in January of 2023, it was almost 3% below list price. But it has been declining since June of last year, where homes were selling for almost 3% over list price. But this is good for sellers. Understand that if your house has been on the market for 30 days or more, you're probably not going to get a full price offer, because on average, homes are selling for 1.5% below list price. Month supply of inventory, we'll take a look at this chart, which has just skyrocketed this year, which is why I wanted to put this video out as a sort of update for buyers and sellers, that the market has changed drastically in just the last 6 months. And this is a perfect example of that. You can see just 6 months ago in December of 2024, there were 2.2 months of supply in the city of Irvine, which is considered a hot seller's market. And now we are about to hit 5 months of supply, which is borderline a buyer's market. Remember, like I said, 6 months is considered a buyer's market. Right now we are closer to a buyer's market than we are in the middle of a neutral market. My expectation by the end of this year, Irvine will absolutely hit a buyer's market, and I'm gonna put out a video on 3 other cities in Orange County that are about to be in a buyer's market as well, so subscribe if you're interested in that. Now, keep in mind, we are expecting the first rate cut happening in September of this year and one more in either November or December, with 3 to 4 rate cuts priced in the first half of 2026. And that will absolutely bring in more buyers to the market. Here's a good example. With a 7% mortgage rate and a $1 million home, $100,000 down, which is 10%, your monthly payment is the exact same as if mortgage rates drop to 5% and you buy a $1.2 million house with the same down payment. So if we get mortgage rates in the low to mid 5s in the first half of next year, which as of right now, that is what is anticipated, then we'll likely see a big surge of buyers stepping into the market. So that's kind of it for the Irvine housing market update. Big shift happening this year. That's why I wanted to put this video out. Once again, my name's Ian Phillips. I'm a realtor in Orange County, and I do live in Irvine. So if you're looking for an agent in the area, whether you're buying or selling, reach out. I'd love to chat. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. I'll see you next time.